Well, it's certainly going to be very different. So if you look at what happened in the last 4 years, at least in the States, right? So you have seen companies, especially in the crypto industry, gravitating out of the US because of operational choke point that happens. And they feel stifled in terms of innovation. And many of those innovation and then building was done outside of the States. I think under President Trump, it gave it new clarity. And it goes into different areas, right? So if you look at regulatory clarity, which is something that's very simple and that's very much needed for the industry, with not only the president being pro-crypto, but if you look at the House of Representatives, the Senate now is pro-crypto compared to the past. So legislation will be passed. You have pro-crypto regulators being appointed to key commissioner roles in the SEC and CFTC and throughout the administration. So I think that's one aspect of it, which is extremely important for clarity in order for us to know how to operate.
So sorry, Richard, just to expand on that, yeah. you think there will be more meaningful regulation in the US this year?
Much clearer regulation.
Okay, and do you think a lot of people are talking about stable coins as perhaps the first wave first, because there was a bill already going through the legislative process. But are there other areas you feel that actually the US could take a lead here and create a real solid framework? Is it around trading or where else?
I think around all aspects. If you look at the current framework now, it's unclear on so many different aspects. So the more clarity that you can give on every aspect of it, from token issuance to trading to OTC to asset management, everything along that spectrum will be extremely important for the journey ahead for crypto. But that's just touching just on purely the regulatory aspect of it. But it's giving the certainty, giving the recognition that the sector needs. And the formation or the possible formation of a US strategic Bitcoin reserves again speak volumes of the intention going forward. And it's not only the federal government. If you look at the state government, many of the state government are now looking to instill their own crypto reserve. And it will filter down. So the different multinationals, the Fortune 500 companies, will, I think, increasingly have their treasury do allocations to crypto.
Wow. Yeah. How does a Bitcoin reserve work? Has everyone heard? I'm asking for our listeners, I'm asking the audience, has everyone heard of the Bitcoin reserve that Trump has proposed? So how would that work in principle?
Well, it's similar to a country holding its assets in different asset class, and crypto is an important asset class going forward. I mean, the fact that President Trump appointed an AI and crypto czar in itself speaks volume about the importance of these two fundamental technology that's going to drive every subsector in terms of innovation going forward, right? Be in terms of supply chain, financial services, real estate, entertainment. These two fundamental technologies are the key building blocks for the future. And it's extremely wise move. Mm. But having said that, US will not be the first country to set up a strategic reserve in terms of crypto. Bhutan has already done that. And many countries around the world are considering this at this point in time.
Richard, can I just talk about perception for a little bit? Because your industry has been working very hard to change the perception of what crypto is, that it's not full of illegal scams and bad actors, right? That's something that a lot of people in the industry have been talking about. When you have the president and the first lady launching their own meme coins, does that help at all?
Well, I think we can have a debate and argument around that, but that just represents a different aspect of engaging the community and a different aspects of innovation, right? So innovation will go a different way. But crypto is so broad, and you're talking about a tiny sliver or within the crypto dimension, right? So if you look at what crypto represents, infrastructure layer, the likes of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Again, there are level 2 infrastructure, there's DeFi, there's GameFi, there's SocialFi, there's AI agents, and that list goes on, right? There's so many different aspects that people are building the future, transforming the space, the future of finance, the future of money, right? So if you just look at this particular sliver of meme coins or fan tokens, again, that represents a small part of it, but important aspect of getting the youth, the young, engaged on that front. Just very much like what you have in terms of meme stocks, right? Yeah. Which is anti-establishment. People embrace that for different reasons. So we can't speculate. But if you look at the innovation and what it represents for the future, it means that there are a lot of experimentation that will happen in this space. And experimentation is important for innovation.
Yeah. I feel like everyone has to have their own coin these days. It's like the thing. Maybe I should launch one.
Not everybody has a tool.
Richard, with all the changes in the US now, how are you approaching the US market? Now, I know there is Binance US, a separate entity. Is there a world in which Binance Global re-enters the US market now?
So Binance is a global platform. We have today about 254 million users on our platform, making us the largest crypto ecosystem and largest blockchain player in the world. And last year alone, we onboarded, beginning of 2024, we have 170 million users. We ended the year with about 240. So we onboarded 17 million new users last year. So if you think about it, there are 30% new users on the platform that just was onboarded last year. And that figures keep growing this year, right? So we have hit 250 million earlier on this year. And we see that number continue to grow. So our focus is being a global platform to serve the needs of all global users. At this point in time, I think our key attention is on that. We are the most licensed platform internationally. We have 21 regulatory approval globally now, the latest being in places like Brazil, Argentina, India, Indonesia, Thailand, extremely big markets that we are working tirelessly to support crypto adoption and deployment. As for US market, I do think that we are holding a watching brief at this point in time, checking out what's the development going forward. It's going to be optimistic, but you do need some clarity on the way forward. And, we are always prepared. As and when the time is right, we are prepared to have a proper conversation around that.